Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time for the Unfiltered News. Where political correctness is not spoken here. From the Reality Zone, compiled by G. Edward Griffin, the man in the picture. Alrighty, this is for May 17th to the 23rd. Last week of 2014. Last week I did it on my Google Plus. If you didn't catch it, you could still catch it on my website, Spellbinder 00 on YouTube. Okay, this is this week's comic strip, and it's pretty funny. It's called Weather. Now, look at the scientists are sitting there going, it's global cooling, it's global warming, it's climate change, it's climate disruption. Dramatic changes in the temperature and the state of the atmosphere. There's another one. And he said, it's called weather. It's called cycles, actually. We go through cycles. I don't know why they don't know this. Only because they're trying to get a tax on us to take more money from you and put it in their pocket. That's exactly what it's all about. What more will they go through? It's a solar cycle, 24. It fizzled out. It's not like it was supposed to be. This is supposed to be the greatest solar cycle known to mankind, with probably a 18-something flare that wiped out the transmissions and burnt lines in the telegraph systems of that time, and take out the power grid worldwide. No, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Just not going to happen. We're going into a mini ice age. We're going into a mini ice age. That's a 10-year span at least. And the last time this happened, the Times in England was frozen over for 10 years, and they built shops, and people skated to get to the stores they built on the time. Just look it up in Google to say when times froze over, and you'll know exactly what day they were starting this, and it didn't go away. It was frozen totally over. It's called a mini ice age, and we're getting ready to go back into another one. Okay? Don't let these criminals in government try to take money from your pocket and put it in theirs over something that they're making up and making a ridiculous statement about. It's not going to happen. We're not going to allow it to happen. Are you going to let them tax you to breathe next? Yes, you breathed 2 breaths of air more than you should have. You should not breathe at all, and they suffocate you right there on the spot. Are you going to allow that? And that sound cuckoo? It does, doesn't it? It really does sound cuckoo. Hear the cuckoo? That's how cuckoo this global warming is. It's absolutely cuckoo. They're nuts. They're trying to blame you and your breathing and everything else they can on global warming, but only you can be taxed. Nothing else can. If they wanted to really tax something, it'd be a tax against Mother Nature for methane, but it ain't going to happen, is it? Anyways, Colorado, first story of the day. These are headlines you may have missed, and I'll have a link to this underneath the video. A link to, you can click on here and actually read these articles. Colorado, the decriminalization of marijuana has created 10,000 new jobs in the state and yielded $3.5 million in tax revenue for the month of January alone. It is estimated it will yield $40 million in taxes for the year. No figures yet on the savings in cost of law enforcement and prison costs, but they will be huge. Also, there is no indication that drug use has increased. Natural Society, May 23rd. Come on, let's legalize a plant. If I want to smoke geraniums Are they going to put me in jail for that too? Even if it doesn't give me a buzz? If I want to smoke, maple leaves, which is a bad idea, it would cause smoke inhalation on that part. But I mean, really, you got to think about this. This is a natural plant. It grows naturally. It's not like what they do to cocaine. They chemicalize it with what I've heard, kerosene and other ingredients to make it into cocaine. I mean, coca is actually a good stimulant if you just chew on the leaves. Ask the natives of 3,000 years why coca is a good plant. It's only when man gets a hold of it and tries to concentrate it to make a super buzz and a profit out of it does it become dangerous. In its natural state, even today's marijuana is harmless. You cannot smoke yourself to death on cannabis. There's no way. You'll pass out before you can. You'll just pass out. You'll go to sleep. Wake up feeling, that was a great buzz. Anyways, I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with marijuana. Hindus, the Indian people of India, give this to their children during teething and stuff. It's not uncommon. And it doesn't do them any harm. They're the most brilliant people in the world. Don't you know? We think we have everything sourced out to them. Oh, give me a break. Okay, video. Oregon. 2 countries have banned the cultivation of GMO crops. Good for them. However, last year the state passed a law that prevents local governments from banning GMOs. Jackson County's initiative predated the law, so an exception was made, but Josephine County will have to go to court over its ordinance. Russia Today, May 22nd. See how they're doing this? I had somebody hand me a piece of paper today. I'm going to read this to you. Okay, what are GMOs? And they were walking down the sidewalk, and I was walking, waiting for my brakes to be done in my car, right? And I'm just walking to check out Verizon and Sprint, and see what they had to offer for phones. And I'm just walking down the road, trying to take up time while they had my car in there to change out my front brakes. Okay. They gave me this, and I said, what I said to them? I said, thank you for this. Thank you for this piece of paper. I appreciate this. I wish you'd go out and give more of them out. And you know what? I think every scientist that makes GMOs should have to eat their product for a year before it's procured safe. And this is what was on the piece of paper. I'm going to tell you right now. What are GMOs? Plants and animals created through gene splicing, creating unstable combinations of plant, animal, bacterial, and viral genes that cannot occur naturally. It modifies our food with harmful genes, causes disease, diabetes, health problems, and cancer. Cancer, underline, cancer. Okay? Money making for the pharmaceuticals and basically for the medical association also. Alters human DNA. Alters human DNA. I gotta repeat some of this stuff. Causes sterilization. Sterilization. Am I getting through yet? 80% of conventionally processed foods are genetically modified. 80% of our foods are genetically modified. I gotta repeat some of this stuff so it will soak in a little bit if you've been fluorinated and GMO'd. Why aren't they liable? Or why aren't they labeled? They should be labeled too, but why aren't they labeled? We should be able, if GMO food was such a great thing to have, why isn't it labeled on every can saying, this is good for your health, this will make you healthier, and everything? Instead, they want to fight against labeling it because they know it's not good for you. The scientists do not eat what they create. Their cafeterias have 0 GMO foods in them. First red flag, right? Okay, are they safe? Government-approved studies were conducted by the same corporations that created the GMO foods. Lab rats developed tumors, cancer, and after only 91 days, 91 days, that's one day after they said it was safe after 90 days testing it, GMO corn. And the French study came out afterwards and showed that they held up these rats with tumors when they did it 180 days, just feeding them GMO corn. The government-approved studies were conducted by the same corporations that created the GMO foods. Lab rats developed tumors, cancer, and only after 91 days became sterile. You'll never be able to reproduce. Your children are sterile. If they eat this stuff, they're sterile. You'll never have a lineage of your family name or anything. You're gone. You think the people who are behind this eat this stuff? No. They're blue bloods. They're not going to eat this stuff. They're gonna sterilize you and get rid of your family name, and so they are the blue bloods, the gods of this planet. Oh, you don't know that yet? You're not listening. You're not paying attention. You're not doing your research. GMOs have been restricted or outright banned in over 60 countries. 60 countries, including Japan, Australia, and all of the European Union. Why not here? Why not here in America, the melting pot of the world? Because we're worthless feeders to them. We don't give them personally anything that they need. Okay, what can we do? Research the foods you eat and buy organic or GMO free. Demand the U.S. government to label GMO foods so that we have our freedom to choose what we eat. Support the non-GMO project in protecting our food supply. And then it has a sticker on the bottom saying non-GMO product or project verified. That's what I was handed out today walking down the street. These people are baby carriage and everything. There's 3 of them. And they say, here, you want to read about GMOs? And that's why I told them I don't agree with it. GMOs are evil. The people behind it are geneticists. They want to kill us all except for themselves who create this stuff. They're genociding the entire world except for themselves. They don't realize, though, that they're genociding themselves. We think they built those food vaults and all that stuff that they did. That's for them, not for us. Remember that. Just think of it. You're being hoodwinked into dying young, and your children young, if not at all, having children. Okay, let's go on. U.S. billionaire environmentalist Tom Steyer says he will spend $100 million this election season to attack 7 Republican candidates who have challenged the global warming myth. He intends to paint them as being anti-science and deniers. As I said, it's solar. It's not people doing this. What's causing global warming is the sun. Now, they can't go out there and charge the sun, because the sun will burn them to pieces if they went up to it and challenged them. That's why they're going after you and me. We're easy prey. Don't you know? Okay, this is MSNBC, May 22nd. Next, video. Obama sent a memo to Senate justifying the assassination of American citizens without due process in a court of law. The memo was written by David Barron, an Obama appointee to the federal judgeship. Under Obama, lethal drone strikes have increased over 600%. That's how America's enemies are made, don't you know? They appoint these people. You didn't appoint them. They internally appoint these people and put them in power. Do you not understand the difference between collectivist communism and Americanism constitutionalist? You get to vote on these. They don't want you to vote on these. Oh no. Alex Wagner, 2014, May 22nd. Joanne Hunter, Mr. Griffin's assistant, won her first round in court against the Bowen Corporation. Based on her argument without an attorney, the court rejected the corporation's motion to dismiss, so her case moves forward. Click here on this headline for details. Reality Zone, May 22nd. Okay, I have nothing to say there. Video. Russia and China have signed what is being called the world's biggest deal. Russia will export gas oil to China valued over $400 billion. China will pay more than it hoped, but is especially interested in natural gas to combat extreme pollution. This puts Russia in a stronger position to obtain higher prices in Europe as well. Russia Today, May 21st. This whole Ukraine Kyiv situation is blown out of proportion by the U.S. and the UN. They are making enemies of two superpowers who are now greater than the U.S. superpower. Just a note. Okay. Obama is changing provisions in his health care law to make billions of tax dollars available to bailout insurers when they lose money, which is inevitable. The reason they will lose money is that Obamacare is a political program to acquire voter patronage, not social program to create sustainable, affordable health care. LA Times, May 21st, and that's exactly what it is. It was a military It makes me mad. I was talking today to a guy at a bar I stopped at for a beer, and we all agree it's a scam. Obamacare is a scam. The program was written that didn't work. Then when it was fixed in the beginning, they didn't have an ending to the program where you actually get a hold of these insurers. The insurers are upset because of that, and they're dropping out of Obamacare. This has been the biggest failure in history of a presidential get involved in thing. Okay. What's going on down here? Video. Dogs can sniff out cancer and do it in a non-invasive way. In one Italian study, it was found that dogs had a 98% accuracy rate detecting prostate cancer, which is more accurate than most sophisticated laboratory tests. In other words, they won't allow that because they can't make money off of that offhand as much as they make off of this. Well, I got to go in and do a biopsy and take a piece and see if it's cancerous. That'll be $3,000. No, a dog would do it probably for $20, $30, you know. Fox, May 21st. That's just the way things is. Albuquerque Police Department is in the news again. This time, instead of shooting and killing non-violent people, the victim was kicked by an officer so hard in the groin that he lost a testicle. They splattered a testicle. That is not good. Infowars, May 21st. That's very painful. I've heard of only one thing before that, and the guy self-inflicted it on himself. He was a bodybuilder, and he had two weights in his hand, and he's going back and forth. Well, his arms got, never mind. And, a piece of meat between two slices and bread, and don't want to go any further into that. Anyways, video. Thailand's military took over the government in an overweight coup and established martial law. The military commander says he does not want a military government, but only to restore the law and order. It is not clear that there was a breakdown of law and order before the takeover, but there has been raising opposition to the existing government because of corruption. PBS, May 21st. And that's in Thailand, coming to a neighborhood near you in America. Don't you know? Not paying attention? I know. Video. An international sting operation was conducted last week against users of spy software that enables remote access and control of computers and webcams. This led to the arrest of 97 hackers in 16 countries. The name of the malware is Black Shades. That's right, Black Shades. And it is estimated that as many as 1 million computers have been infected. Russia Today, May 19th. Watch your computer. Make sure you got computer safeware of some type, McAfee or something. One of the others. I mean, you got to have some protection. You have to have at least something as a barrier between your computer and what's coming through the pipe. Okay. North Carolina. 3 Republican state senators are introducing a bill that would make it a felony to disclose the chemicals used in fracking. That's right. They do not want you to know what they're using in the fracking chemicals. Does that make any sense to you? They're keeping it secret? Are they dumping this waste down into these fracking pipes to frack the rocks? And it's going to eventually bubble up into your drinking water if you have a well, or a city well, or a city well. I don't care. It's all about money. It's called money junkies. They're hooked on money. They don't care. They drink bottled water from Switzerland or something. Okay, North Carolina. 3 Republican state senators are introducing a bill that would make it a felony to disclose the chemicals used in fracking. The argument is that it is necessary to protect the trade secrets. Trade secrets of the chemicals? What? Industrial waste products being used? Really? I mean, we have the right to know what every chemical is down there. There was a site that had guys who read what was in it, their MDSA, the book that tells you everything about the chemicals in the ground, MSDA. It's MDSA, I think it is. And they read through the pages, and they left their fracking site because what they found out, what was going down the pipe, would kill them if they stuck around and got a whiff of it or something. And they just left. They just up and left. That was in North Carolina, I think. And the argument is that this is necessary to protect trade secrets. It is claimed, however, that the identity of the chemicals is known to the engineers and all drilling companies, to the engineers. But somehow the workers found out what was in that, and they just left the site. They all use them. Since competing companies know what chemicals are used, talk about trade secrets as bunk. The only reason for secrecy is to prevent the public from finding out and becoming outraged by what they're pumping down there in your groundwater and you're going to drink. Mother Jones, May 19th. Just horrible, horrible crap. Horrible. Video. Ukraine home in Chernobyl announced it will replace Russia as its source of nuclear energy technology and suppliers with those from the U.S. Westinghouse has secured a fuel contract and has plans to expand operations in the Ukraine. Russia Today, May 19th. They're going to put more of these Fukushima reactors in. Oh, they're idiots. It's money making, though. It's all about money. It's about these people who worship money. They got a big dollar bill up on the wall, and they got all shrouded and stuff, and they worship it, and they bow down to it and say, "Oh, great dollar. Oh, great dollar." And I'm telling you, that's what they're doing. If you ever seen Network, you understand. Okay, video. China is urging its citizens to evacuate Vietnam due to anti-China riots that has left 2 Chinese dead. The row occurred after China petitioned an oil rig in disputed territory in the southern China Sea. Press TV, May 18th, and that's the same islands that Japan's arguing over for the oil. And their poster, before the U.S. got involved, shared in that. Japan was going to share that oil in that part of the sea with China, because they both have territory overlapping in that sea. Well, America got involved and made Japan actually attack China for trying to take those islands. And China is bigger. Sorry. They're bigger. Anyways, Russia video parliament is considering a bill that would harshly punish anyone who knowingly brings GMO seeds or crop into the country. Author F. William Indagel says that reports of increased crop yields for GMO is false because there has been no gain in harvest yield ever proven. To the contrary, organic farming has higher yields and produces better quality food. Russia Today, May 17. All you have to do is Google India GMO crop failures, and you'll find out everything you ever wanted to know but was afraid to ask about GMO. It's evil, it's poisonous, it will kill you and make you sterile. If you like that, go for it. Eat it up. Yum. Okay. Indiana. The Morgan County Sheriff's Department is acquiring surplus U.S. military equipment, including mine-resistant vehicles. The MRAP, designed for use in full-scale war. Now, why would they be doing this unless they're planning something so drastically evil against the American people that they have to have that? Something's going to happen. They know that they're going to do something, the government. There's going to be some type of extraterrestrial activity, meteor impact, asteroid, something. It's going to drive them to have those. But they're not telling us. But they know this is coming, and coming soon. It's just one of those things. Sergeant Dan Drowning justifies acquiring the equipment for police activities by saying that returning U.S. soldiers might become enemies of the state and have the ability to defeat police with IEDs, improvised explosive device. InfoWars, May 16th. Oh, really? You're afraid of the Americans that went over there, learned all this stuff, you trained them to learn all this stuff, and they come back and find out their country is exactly like the one they're fighting against, and they want to do something to stop it? Really? Really? Come on, Obama. Say it. Really? Oh, this is exactly what they're afraid of. They're afraid of our people who swore to the oath of the United States and the Constitution that they'll come back and defend it as they should against a foreign entity or government running our government. And that's exactly what it is. Is anyone paying attention? Is anyone really paying attention? Here's something to keep. This is a star. Star means keep for future reference because something's going to come up more about this. Climate researcher Leonard Bendtson wrote a paper with 4 other authors that questions the CO2 connection to climate as claimed by the UN's IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change. The leading environmental journalists refused to publish the paper, saying that it would open the door for skepticism. Just another proof that the scientific community is suppressing any research that contradicts the myth of anthropomorphic global warming. Breitbart, May 16th. A connecting article with a star. Michael Mann, an inventor of the fraudulent hockey stick global warming graph, is suing a reporter for criticizing him, but it is difficult to imagine that he will prevail unless the court is corrupt. See how Mann hid the data on his hockey stick graph by removing the parts that would have disproved his theory. Powerline blog, May 16th. See, these global warmist priestess and priest are trying to get you to worship them and give them money, just like the Catholic Church. I have nothing against Catholics and what they do, But it follows along those same lines. If you don't give us the money, the great God climate will come down on you. Well, what does climate need money for? What does the sun need money for? The only people who are actually making money off this is the people who are pushing it. And it goes into their pockets. I'm just making notes. I'm not trying to upset anyone or say anything offhand, but it's just I have a clear mind and I'm able to see through this stuff as if it's some type of fakery. Okay, let's go on. In Nevada, a video. A father who objects to federal Common Core education program requested to see the information the school has collected on his children and was told that it would cost him $10,000 to see. Basically, it's open to the public information. He has to pay $10,000 to find out. Fox News, May 16th. No way. No way. This is just bull on top of bull on top of bull. How deep does the bull have to get before you stand up and say no? We need everyone, 360 million people, to stand up to our government and governmentals and state and say no. And know what they'll do? They'll back down. Why? Because they know we will tar, feather, and pitchfork them out of the country. Stick them in their butt until they leave. Okay. Here's an interesting note. Something new. The biggest vegetables in the world are grown in Alaska. How does this man do it? You guys see these. And it's amazing. Alright, we're down to the analysis. Reports and commentary that look beyond news to identify historical facts and trends that help to place the news into perspective. Video. Let's start out. The U.S. Freedom Act was written supposedly to restrict NSA spying, but Judge Napolitano says that it is deceptive legislation because it actually will allow the NSA to expand its program. This from Fox News, May 22nd. And it will. The NSA is out of control. I can't say any more. Fox is doing a good job on pointing this stuff out to save face because they're seeing MSNBC and CNN going down the tubes. So they have to save face. And Murdoch is working his ass off to make sure that they save face. Anyways, video. USA Freedom Act was written supposedly to restrict NSA spying. Oh, I just read that, didn't I? Woo. Let me go down here and get this entire story here. Video. Windfall. The movie is about New York's goal of having 30% of its electricity supplied by renewable energy sources and how that impacted the rural town of Meredith. The government subsidies and tax breaks for wind generation led to the creation of wind energy companies that flocked through the countryside to set up wind farms, and many cash-starved residents accepted the lure. What happened next, however, is an eye-opener. 400-foot tall turbines sprang up everywhere, leading to unexpected noise, light strobe effects from shadows of rotating blades, loss of sleep, very little revenue, and a divided community. After this film was made, opponents of the wind farms were voted into office and stopped the project, and fracking too. Snag. May 21st, they stepped in and they stopped it all. Okay, let's see. It's just not working. We have projects out there that the government turns down because they suck up to the oil companies worldwide, and they will not let these quiet projects that produce more energy than gas, coal, and windmills and all the rest of them, and they won't allow it because these people are heavily invested in gas companies and stuff like that. If they wanted to do something, the gas companies would start investing in the quiet noise to make money off of it, but they're not doing that. They're making too much money going around robbing countries of their oil and gas, and they don't have time to allow quiet energies. Say a generator in every house that's perpetual, because it's able to produce enough energy to keep itself going as well as power your house. They're out there. They have them. Australia has them. An inventor has one. He says once this thing's turned on, all you have to do is swap out modules that pick the energy off, that go bad after, so many years. And all you have to do is do that. Oh, well. Let's not listen to that. Oh, no. Let's listening. We can only look these things out here, these windmills, these things that we're creating that's producing clean energy. They're failing, so we gotta go back to gas and oil and all that stuff. You know who's behind all that? No, I have to. Anyways, investigative reporter Clint Richardson says that graduate schools now have a program in geoengineering, chemtrails, and sustainable development, Agenda 21. These two fields have become magnets for students seeking glamorous, high-paying careers that are the embodiment of how the myth of global warming feeds the myth of needing to engineer the climate and control human activity, supposedly to combat global warming. Control Freak School. Reality blogger, May 20th. That's exactly what it is. It's Control Freak School. You can become a control freak and rule over people and tell them what you want them to do, not what they can decide for themselves. It's control freaks. That's all they're creating. My God, a school for control freaks. Wow. Orwell would be rolling in his grave today. He gave us a warning and now we're just outdoing him. Video. Judge Napolitano says to react to U.S. charges against five Chinese military leaders for economic espionage against the U.S. by arresting Americans in China to be used as trading chips. Sounds like the U.S. is going criminal, isn't it? Fox News, May 20th. You know that's all bunk. I do too. And it's like, they're espionaging over to China. Well, they should arrest Clinton then for giving supercomputers to China. And the first thing, back in his day, that's down the memory hole. We're not supposed to remember about Clinton giving supercomputers to China. Just giving it to him. Didn't sell it. We just gave it to him. Here, have a supercomputer so you can do things much better. No? Okay, this article shows the Rockefeller connection to the program to cause spontaneous abortions and forced sterilization dating back to 1920s. 1920s. If you have wondered if there are hidden population reduction agenda operating through vaccines, fluoridation of water supplies, GMO crops, and atmospheric spraying, this is a good place to begin your inquiry. Explosive Reports, May 19th. And that goes back to this little handout I got today that says, what are GMOs? You're not paying attention if you don't know you're being eliminated from the earth. Energy investment strategist Marian Kayusa warns that recent threats by the Obama administration to place sanctions against Russia puts the U.S. at risk of Russia pulling the plug on supplying uranium for nuclear power. That accounts for 20% of the U.S. energy. The U.S. imported 40 million tons of uranium last year, with half of that supplied by Russia. Shit hits the fan, or SHITF plan. Okay, May 18th. That's what I'm talking about. We're cutting our own throats by threatening these other countries for our Roman dominance over the world. We're going to fall in America just like Rome. And it's just a matter of not if, but when. And when's coming soon. That's all I can say about that. When is coming soon if they keep up the way they're doing. Okay, here's the cool down point. The great photo of the week. Determination. A little kid gonna lift that many weights. Okay. Humor. This is the humor for this week. Below is an actual letter. they say, sent to a bank by 86-year-old woman. And you gotta read that. You gotta read all this. Like I said, I have a link to this. No, I have not slept well. Why do you ask? God, I could put that up there at work. Anyway. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Okay. That's it. This is the form. You can go. Last week we invited you to name this new singing group. Here's the responses. The nagsayers. The yes, the horse bucky trio. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this week. It's been fun. It's been nice, but it's Memorial Weekend. And there's so much there. Don't forget the Natural Cures advertisement on the side. I mean, I bought into bunches of stuff, and they're staying healthy now because of it. And I don't know. You got to open your eyes and think alternative, and not think mainstream media, and you'll be healthier for it. So that's it. This is the Unfiltered News for this week. From the reality zone, where political correctness is not spoke here. I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Weekend. Be good at it, and have a wonderful day or evening, wherever it might be in your part of the world.